commend Congress for organising this event, and maybe to start with what I think is the most important thing, and I just want to echo what Owen said. To my mind, we have to develop from meetings like this a determination to build a mass people's movement to demand public and affordable housing, and to force the two major parties in this country to break from the failed and misguided reliance on the private sector to deliver public and affordable housing. It has been a disaster, an absolute disaster. That is at the essence of it. People Before Profit absolutely enthusiastically endorses Congress's charter, every single word of it. I would also like to commend the Housing and Homelessness Coalition, who are organising the demonstration on April the 7th, and I really hope we can put tens of thousands of people on the street on that day to force the change in direction, the radical change in direction that is being signposted by Congress today, and which overlaps directly with the demands of the National Housing and Homelessness Coalition. Monday morning in my clinic, a woman comes in facing eviction, 19 years on the housing list. Another couple with 3 kids, just been evicted because of substantial refurbishments to their home, going into a hole. Another family with 3 kids, one of whom is extremely ill, with a very, very serious lung condition, which means they're in and out, week in, week out of Crumlin Hospital. The lung condition is so bad that it's now putting pressure on the child's heart, and this results from a certified red reading of damp in the private rented accommodation, such that the humidifier is collecting 7 litres of water a day in the child's bedroom, where the pillows are growing damp. Not a priority for Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown County Council to be housed. And homelessness the only alternative, so the family will stay put, even though the doctors are saying the treatment cannot work for that child while they remain in the current conditions. 3 other families, all on the same day, all facing imminent eviction notices at the end of this month. What are they all told? No chance of a council house, find HAPS. Find HAPS. You're approved for HAPS. Average rents in Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown are now €2,200. No chance of finding HAPS whatsoever. So you're homeless. It's as simple as that. No chance at all. And despite rhetorical lip service by Owen Murphy to the idea that we need for the state to intervene more in the housing market and provide public and affordable housing, what is the reality? Last year, 2017, of the 25,000 housing solutions the government claims, 19,000 of those were HAPS or RAS. But people are actually being evicted from HAPS and RAS as we speak. They're not permanent solutions. Of the 133,000 housing solutions promised under Rebuilding Ireland, only 30,000 of those are council or approved housing bodies. The rest, 87,000, HAPS, RAS, leasing, being presented as housing solutions when they are not. They are dependent on a private market which at any time will and does pull the plug on those tenants and leave them back in emergency situations again. So unless we break from the failed strategy of HAPS and reliance on private landlords and the private sector, we have no chance. Affordability. It's not just that we need council houses in the numbers that ICTU are talking about. Affordability. We do need affordable houses. But the affordable schemes that are being rolled out at the moment will not work in huge swathes of Dublin. The limit of 340,000 is a joke. Average house prices in Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown now are €600,000. €600,000. You wouldn't have a prayer on anything up to €70,000 of income earnings of getting anything on the private market in the Dún Laoghaire, Rathdown or South Dublin area, or for that matter Dublin Bay North or huge swathes of Dublin. So it's just not going to deliver. So we need council housing, public housing on public land and affordable housing, but also we must grab a much bigger share of the private development that is happening for council and affordable housing, genuinely affordable housing. So the 10% social we're getting on developments is not enough, and the affordable housing that we're supposed to be getting from the LEHAF, from state subsidies to private developers, is a joke. In fact, it's not even defined at the moment. We're not told what percentage we're going to get. We're not told what affordable prices mean. The 300,000 benchmark the government set was quickly abandoned because the developers thought it was too low. The 40% that you're supposed to get back in affordable based on LEHAF funding was abandoned. So we are being told, although nobody will give us definitive answers, in Dún Laoghaire, where there's going to be a new town, one of the biggest developments in the country, Cherrywood, there will be 8,000 units there. That one site could solve the housing crisis in South Dublin. One site. But it won't, because we're going to get possibly as little as 2% affordable housing on that. That was a public site sold by NAMA to an American company, Hines, at a song, and the vast majority of that housing will be sold at unaffordable prices of 400,000, 500,000, 600,000. Does that sound like a repeat of the period leading up to the crash? Masses of unaffordable housing being sold to people, being built and sold on the market. It is a recipe for disaster. So we have to, that site, and that's just symptomatic of many other sites around the place, need to be taken back into public ownership to build public housing and genuinely affordable housing for people. And very finally, we need to stop the flow. What an emergency measure means, a national emergency measure means, is you must stop now the flow into homelessness. No economic evictions into homelessness or repossessions into homelessness. Unless we do that, the problem is just going to continue to get worse as it is, despite all the PR and spin of the government.